Good afternoon, Super Metroid Randomizer fans. That's right. We've got some hot playoff action coming your way here, right on the flagship station, Speed Gaming. We've got Adraxis of the A team against Sloters 27 of the Catgirls. This is one game each to both of these teams. And with me today is the one, the only D-Web. What's up, D-Web?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today, Hockey?
I'm doing phenomenal. These are two of the finest randomizer players we've ever seen before in our lifetimes.
Yeah, this should be a very exciting match. Like you said, game 3 of this series is tied up 1-1. These are, like you said, two of the best runners. Season 1 champion Slaughter, Season 2 champion Audra. That was back when things were just individual. Now you got their teams going at it. I also had have some, fun lore. Despite the fact that both of these players have been like at the top of the scene for like, as long as it's existed, they've played one series together outside of, well, like in these like tournament settings, and they also have one series in Rat, which is kind of its own thing that I don't really count. So like, yeah, Sloters won the matchup in season 1. Pretty sure it was 2-1. I was looking at that the other day, and like they just haven't played since. And that was like forever ago.
That's D-Web with the deep lore there between these two storied runners. So D-Web, what can you tell us about the mode today? This is Dash Recall.
Yeah, so Dash Recall, it's a newer randomizer, came out earlier this year. This is a major minor split with more caveats to that statement than normal. We've also got some new items. Some of the items are changed, and some of the map is changed as far as doors being open, changes to layouts, speed box that are broken by Spazer, etc. So, basically, the idea behind it was, open up the map a little bit, allow for more routing changes, routing opportunities, stuff like that, and hopefully it isn't something that comes down to whether or not one runner goes up red tower, one runner goes down red tower, and there was a clear answer and the race is just over. That was the hope. So a lot of things have changed, and all of our runners that are running this in the playoffs are adapting, figuring things out on the fly, and it's been it's been interesting. The other change that I didn't mention that you can see on the HUD up at the top right, there's a number right next to where X-ray scope is. That is their current charge beam damage, and it will update if you pick up additional beams, whether they be the standard ice wave spacer or plasma, or they be the one of 4 charge upgrades that exist in the seed.
That's right. So charge beam split into 4 to get maximum damage output. Now this is some interesting divergence here early, D-Web. We have Slaughter. She's going down into Green Brinstar via Green Hill Zone. Otter, though, they're sticking with going back up to the surface of Zebus.
Yeah, and like I said, with this being newer, not really necessarily the most fully fleshed out or theorized metagame, but in original Dash, I want to say people thought that meme route was very strong. In this one, I'm not necessarily as sure how people feel about it. The way miners work in this is different from some of our other randomizers, and as you can see, like no hidden supers or power bombs for our runners today, so you're not necessarily like in a position where you think you might have to go one way or the other to pick up a good miner. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see.
So we do have the screw attack picked up at charge beam. Slaughter, she's going to check the wave E-tank here, decimating those side hoppers with that screw attack. Meanwhile, Audra's into BT and does get the first charge upgrade.
Yeah, general rule, the charge upgrades, there's an exception along the way on one of the beam combinations, but for the most part, when you start the game, your charge beam and your regular shot, the damage is the same, so you have a 100% basically charge beam. Every additional upgrade basically adds 100%, so now obviously you say it doubled from 20 to 40, and then if they would get another one, it would go to 60 on this beam, etc., all the way up to 500% at the maximum. And the other big differences are around plasma, but we'll get there Well, if we get there, we'll talk about it.
Right on, right on. I do like the added wrinkle too of kind of the baby gravity suit and baby Varia suit. Those are officially the pressure valve and the heat shield respectively, and how those are going to tie into our runner's decision making.
Yeah, the one interesting thing about, well, one of the interesting things about those is that despite being like, baby versions of the suits, they do not have the same restrictions applied as the variant gravity suits. So, for example, this gauntlet play that Audra's doing could yield a pressure valve or a heat shield. They can very much be in these early criteria checks.
So we'll see if this gauntlet play does work out for them. Meanwhile, Sloters is going down to the bottom of Brinstar and finds the first reserve tank, along with a regular missile. Ooh, that's a nice pickup early, the grappling beam for Audra.
Yeah, and one of the other interesting things that's popped up so far in a lot of these Dash Recall races, because of the new items that have been added, we talked about the additional charge beam upgrades as well as the pressure valve and heat shield. There's also a double jump, which gives you one additional jump as opposed to infinite like space jump. There are 4 fewer tanks in the pool, so as you can see, Audra's yet to pick up any tanks. Slaughter's only on 1+1 right now, so that can be something that is a little bit, different from what you're used to in other major minors, where the tanks usually just kind of, they throw them at you, you can barely hold them all.
For sure, for sure. Double power bombs here at the back of Gauntlet, and a really impressive Gauntlet check overall from Audra on 0 tanks. Really didn't take any damage.
Yeah, it's something that the A team as a whole, well, 2 of the members of the A team, Audra and Duck, have struggled with throughout the season. Ace has been fine on that front, but yeah, nice to see. Very nicely done, and there's finally an E tank. I've seen way more power bombs than you would normally expect thus far.
No kidding. 20 power bombs already for Audra. That is, and then their first E tank found at Terminator. That's just a vanilla tank. Slaughter's leading the way energy-wise and not really missing out on anything upstairs in Criteria, so this might be a really good play.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this goes as far as just divergence. The big thing, meme route overall, I want to say is faster. It's not by too much, but there's some things that take into account, like whether or not you go to wreck ship early or not, and other things, different ways that items can shake out. And not in this seed, it's not going to matter. There wasn't some like speed booster or spacer that Audra's going to get on path to pick up the waterway check that Sloters didn't get, but we will see what Sloters decides to do as far as heading to wreck ship. How much of that maybe gets cleared, maybe doesn't, and Audra's also the grapple beam is going to make screw attack a pretty free check. Did I say screw attack? I meant X-ray. I definitely said screw attack.
I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other D-Web, right?
They both do the same thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're almost the same item. The X-ray check. X-ray might have some treasure, so that will work out for Audra with that grapple beam, as you said, D-Web. I think Sloters has got to be thinking early ship here, given her routing, but that's just speculation at this point.
Yeah, there was some talk about having a quicker gauntlet check on her side with the screw attack. If she decides to go up there, that'll definitely be true. Remains to be seen if whether or not that is something that happens. The reward is like it could be very, very good. It could be somewhat inconsequential. You just kind of have to see how the seed plays out.
Well, Sloters has got power bomb still selected heading into the landing site. I think she's got to check this. No saves. This is a very confident check.
Yeah, the screw attack as well as the 3+. Well, it's 3+1 without the +1 because there's nothing in that reserve. But
I'm also very curious, D-Web, if Sloters is going to bail, if she's going to check the back of Gauntlet here.
That is the one thing about doing this way, and you probably want to end up going to the right, that the back can be just a little bit less on your path than it would be like we saw in Audra's case. So yeah, it does look like she wants those miners and probably would have wanted supers and not, you know, 2 power bombs when we're already sitting on 20, but
not double PBs when you already have 20 PBs for sure.
this is what the seed had for them. So you play the hand you're dealt.
That's right. That's right.
This is the other room that Slutters had that X-ray for. That, you know, obviously it wasn't the most dangerous room, and missiles cleaned it up pretty quickly. But speed-wise, the screw attack was helpful there.
I'm inclined to agree with chat there. I feel like Sloter, she had a ton of ammo already, and opting just to pick up one of those power bomb packs, bringing her total number to 25. But with that grapple beam in hand, she's got to be thinking ship here.
Yeah. Screw attack already showing off a lot of its worth. You know, when you talked about, you know, first time shooting Landy said she had the power bomb selected. I was like, well, even if you were going right, you would still select power bombs because you want to blow up those bomb blocks. And I wasn't even thinking, you know, just jump through them, which, you know, you're not going to incur all the power bomb lag. And yeah,
that's true.
Here is the one place that grapple is definitely going to have worth. Obviously, a seasoned new art runner, Slutters is very capable of that CWJ, but not having to do it feels better.
No question about it. We've seen some amazing CWJs in some clutch circumstances, like on screen backing up into the door without triggering the transition. Meanwhile, Audra's going to be making their way back through the rest of Green Brinstar on their way to Red Brinstar. And curious if they're going to go up or down there. I think D-Web, if I was Audra, I would be going down.
Yeah, I think we're not going to see until after this X-ray check. Yeah, but I'm really unsure, frankly. I think that, you know, this randomizer, like I said, very much still in the figuring out phase, and there's an extra item up here in Rexhiv compared to normal major minor. There's the additional major is at Sky Missiles, which
that's right.
Currently don't have the best way to do it, and as I say that, they pick up bombs, which is slightly better than the Trippers, maybe.
Slightly? Question mark?
Question mark. Yeah, very much question mark.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Pretty decent start to this Fantoon for Sloters. And she's managing to avoid those flames very well. And Otter showing off the utility of that grapple beam early in this seed. Just a very, very fast X-ray check. That was a beautiful Fantoon fight for Sloters.
We do have an upplay, so
I think this is really fascinating. But I can't tell you why, D-Web. It's a secret.
Well, if you don't tell me, which, you know, is fine, we can still be friends. The chat, I don't know, they're a malicious group. You might have to, to appease them with other trinkets of
D-Web. Malicious chat? No, chat only has a commentator's best interest in mind with the amount of the frequency and accuracy of their corrections whenever we make mistakes. Nothing malicious about it whatsoever.
Yeah, with the additional, you know, the X-ray check, the a bit slower things without screw attack, and the lack of meme rod, you're gonna see it's, I don't know, 2-ish minutes, maybe 2.5 to 3 difference, and then, you know, we would just have to see what items the wreck ship holds and how many of them they decide to collect, because you know, even in a lot of, you know, the standard major minor seeds, people like to check a few of these items, but not all of them. But especially with like all of the additional items that you can't get, and you know, the different ways the seed can pull you, we can see, you know, they could both leave here with different item sets.
Oh, they absolutely could. They absolutely could, D-Web, and it does look like Sloters is going for a full clear here. Now that space jump, I think it's the best 1-2 combination in the game with screw attack, having that space jump, and that immediately eliminates any advantage that Audra has of having the having those bombs, but they're also likely going to find that space jump, so it's a moot point anyway, Hockey. My goodness.
Well, that'll be another thing, if Sloters ends up pathing down Red Tower and also checks X-Ray, that's also going to be faster than what Audra did with the grapple beam. So, just, those subtle differences of, how and when you do things, you can affect things in, little ways, big ways, and, if enough little things add up over time, it's going to end up being big.
No doubt. No doubt about it, D-Web. That's another charge upgrade there at the wreck ship E-Tank location, bringing the total number to 2. So a couple more charge upgrades to be found. Otter, meanwhile, they're locked in Mortal Kombat with Fantoon here. So I will just go ahead and tell Chad, I'll pull back the curtain on why I think it's interesting that Audra went up the Red Tower and kind of mirrored Slaughter's plays, although in a different order. So Slaughter's, as we know, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal vanilla Super Metroid speedrunner. I have to tip the cap in terms of movement efficiency to Slaughter's over Otter. And that's not to take a single thing away from the way that Otter plays Randomizer. But if Otter's going to trail Slaughter's, like, decision for decision, I think Slaughter's has this game. But don't take my word for it.
Don't take Hockey, the highly esteemed and very frequent commentator of all things Super Metroid.
Oh, I'm not esteemed because I'm smart, D-Web. Now we did see, was that the double jump there at Sky Missiles? What an unfortunate placement for that item.
It was,
it's obsolete.
Intentional or not, it was nicely skipped. So,
yes.
That's fun to see. And Sloters is going bowling, so
I think if Audra, if they really want to break this seat open, D-Web, like, obviously they can't tell what Sloters is doing, and all we're doing is just seeing this, on a 10-minute delay. But if it's just kind of like mirroring, they have to break out of the mirror. They have to.
Yeah, and the other change up here in the wreck ship that we haven't talked about, the ever longed for wreck ship reserve speed locked item is it's no longer speed locked. We didn't see the scout from Sloters, but if you go to scout, the speed blocks in that upper room are removed, as well as the Chozo ball that the item is usually in. It's just out in the open.
Oh dang! And, so they're just not speed blocks at all.
Yeah, and then on the other side.
Ship.
Yeah, on the other side, the block is strictly removed, so you can just wall jump up there, or space jump if you have space jump. But even then, I think wall jumping is faster.
I think so too. Yeah, Chad asking, X-Ray in Red Brinstar was normal bombs. All right, Otter's got to do the quick dot. Oh! So what happens when you pick up the double jump after space jump?
Nothing.
Okay, perfect.
You get a fanfare of nothingness. Oh,
perfection, absolute perfection. And Slaughter's she wants that E-Tank. Thinking about hell runs, maybe. We might have a gravity-like item at vanilla gravity location. Could be the pressure valve, could be the suit itself. If that's the case, then, I mean, you just go full bore Meridia, right, D-Web?
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. You can also see, the way these runners have pathed this. Sloters did wreck ship E-Tank first. Audra, if they decide to path that in, will be doing it last. One of the reasons you can do that, if Hockey had been clairvoyant and we spiked a gravity or a pressure valve on this side of the wreck ship, you can path that way and then you can end up in Meridia. The Meridia map changes include plasma beams. Gray door is just blue now, so you can get in there without killing Dragon.
Oh, nice.
And inside the room, plasma pirates are regular green pirates, and there's a platform in the middle of the room, so you don't even need the movement items that we have to exit the room. So it's like, I don't know, 5 times as accessible as it previously was. And then on top of that, the Cat Alley Gray doors are also gone, so you can actually just go straight to Dragon from the back if you are up that way.
Dang. That's sick. I love it.
Yeah, it is not something that was available, from the wreck ship side in this seed, but if they end up, say Spazer is, gravity or something like that, we could see those things from the other side. And yeah, once Wreckship E-Tank is checked or unchecked here on Audra side, we're going to be able to, actually see the entire difference. Because, yeah, like we said, they have, to this point, they'll have done the same things. And they're going to be headed towards the Norfair and Kraid area.
Oh,
Well,
wow. The quadruple pump fake by Sloters there. She was going to get it, then didn't get it. Then went back to get it, then stopped to go leave, and then came back and got it. So normal bombs pickup for Sloters 27 of the Catgirls, D-Web. A great bailout item, even with 25 power bombs.
yeah, she did not want to pick it up, but the game said you're stuck here now, so this is your life. And yeah, with this E-Tank check that we know is going to be a charge beam upgrade, the pathing here is going to be worse by a little bit, I want to say, versus what Sloters did.
Maybe a bit.
Not by much, but yeah, this is. I mean, Wreckship E-Tank to Spazer. How long does that take you? Probably, like I said, I think, yeah, I'm still favoring my like 2.5 to 3 minutes idea that I was on earlier. We're gonna have to see. At the Spazer pickup was about 2050 on Slitter's side, so that'll be our time mark to see where things are.
For sure, D-Web. So your Sloters, you gotta go Kraid here, of course. Let's see what's going on there, because this is just vanilla boss, obviously vanilla area, since we've been through several areas of the game already.
Yeah, and yeah, like we said, obviously, besides the 10-minute delay, it's randomizer, and no one ever knows where their opponent is. So both of them may be feeling like, they just did a Wreckship and they got. I mean, like the items they got were not bad, right? Like Plasma's good, Space Jump is good, the Charge Beam upgrade is also good, especially paired with the Plasma. But like, you didn't need any of that. So in their minds, if someone came down here, first, they were on the better path, presumably. So
no question about it, D-Web. No doubt. So we do have Kraid here. Sloter setting up for a missile. Kraid, quick kill.
Yeah. After Kraid's kill, we'll come up against another item change. The Kraid E-Tank item is just a minor now. It's
oh, that's
one of the few things that went from major to minor in these settings. So if you see the runners check it, you won't be expecting, an E-Tank or a suit or some other item. It'll just be, missile super power bomb.
Now we did also have Audra already getting X-ray D-Web, so they're going to be faster through Red Tower now than Sloters was. But
yeah,
looking to be about a 2-minute difference at Spazer location.
Yeah, I was a little overestimating, but yeah, somewhere around 205, 210 range, which, yeah, as far as down here in Norfair, the biggest things that you could do as far as, like, diverging off of a path that you may think the other runner could take, you could do Croc early. If you spike a various suit, you could skip Bubble Mountain and try and do Lower Norfair earlier. Say there's like a gravity in the high jump boots area, you could stay in Norfair if you think your opponent's going to go up to Meridia.
Right.
We'll just have to see.
Right. I honestly am not a huge fan, no matter what the item loadout is, of like bailing on Norfair once gravity suit is found, because there's just like, once you're in Norfair, you don't want to double or even triple dip into Norfair. You want what happens in Norfair stays in Norfair, D-Web. And if the runner stays in Norfair and journeys all the way down to Lower Norfair and completes it, they never have to come back. So I feel like going all the way up to Meridia, even with that gravity suit, in this case space jump and all that, I think it'd just be so much quicker to just stay in play.
Yeah, and as I was about to talk about the potential for some suitless action, as we already had the grapple beam from Gauntlet, the IS beam at various suit, and then we found Spring Ball for fun to not actually push that forward, but still be helpful if the play should arise. It's also Slaughter's favorite item in Randomizer, so
No question, as seen by the emote in the chat there. And also our good friend Exact Science, the refreshing taste of Diet Space Jump.
it's ball jump, right? Like you can't space jump in your ball. That
You
would
cannot
be
do it.
something, would it not?
Really
You just
nice
see
crate.
like little schmoovin Samus in a morph ball jumping out of her mind. Ooh.
And there it is, the pressure, like you said, D-Web, the pressure valve discovered. So that is friction-free movement through West Meridia? Not all of Meridia?
Yeah, it's water specifically, so you could not use that to like gravity jump for a lava dive, for example.
Oh, so it is
works...
all water then. It's not restricted on parts of Meridia.
Oh, no, it's restricted in parts of Meridia. It's just not restricted like it's not restricted. So like wreck ship, if you had it there, like that water you're fine. But like yeah, it's the lava and acid that's never true in the end. And it's in Meridia. That's the word that was trying to come out of my mouth.
And here's
once you hit aqueduct, you will cease to have your free flowing movement.
Gotcha. So this is the play that I did not want to see. However, Slaughter, she's doing it, so respect. We'll see what Otter does, whether Otter is gonna bail on low or on upper Norfair here once they find the pressure valve. I feel like the most this gets you is like a really fast Mama Turtle check. Like your aqueduct and forward is still gonna be awfully slow.
Yeah. So one of the differences that arose when this was released versus the original Dash that was released, original Dash had some changes to some items and some things that opened things up in ways, but none of that was ever logically considered. So like, Spazer opened Waterway, but if you had Spazer, it wasn't expecting you to get Waterway. This randomizer is not that way.
Come on. Seed, why are you doing this to us?
Yeah, that it leads to exactly what I was just about to say. The pressure valve can logically, lock the gravity suit. Like, if high jump is somewhere that we could have gotten, that's, less of a thing. But like, say like the next item Slaughter's checks is high jump. Like, yeah, this is what the seed wanted you to do. It wanted you to get pressure valve and go into not so suitless Meridia and get this gravity suit.
That is what an absolutely wild turnaround. I was like, I don't like this Meridia play one bit. And here we go. So Chad also pointing out that watering hole is a major item now.
Correct. That's
just basically a single, though, right?
Yeah, basically what happened was like every direction that you could go on the map, except for like all the way down through Norfair, got one additional item. So like up to Wreck Ship got an additional item, through Meridia got one additional item, and then as far as the downplay, like the Crady tank basically gets moved to Mickey Mouse missiles in lower Norfair. So
I got you.
There's the extra major. It is collected. It was just an E-tank.
Yeah, you say D-Web, you said just an E-tank. I'm thinking Slaughter's might be thinking she doesn't even need to find the heat shield or Varia suit. Like she's just been stacking up on E-tanks. And has a ton of ammunition as far as power bombs.
Yeah, so as far as, as we see Ultra's just in here hull running as you would normally see with no additional items. Gravity suit in this randomizer does 25% heat damage protection in all heated areas. The pressure valve does 100% in upper Norfair and 50% in lower Norfair. And then the various suit is, it's standard 100% everywhere. For sure. There's the ice clip, and those changes make this bare bones hell run that Audra's doing a little bit less appetizing than it might normally be, just because you could be doing this without Varia but still not taking heat damage. You could be taking the 75% damage that the gravity suit would allow you, which definitely adds up when you're doing this thing where you're going through rooms, you're losing all your energy, and then you come here and you're farming it. Like that adds up very quickly.
No question.
Yeah, this is the divergence we've been talking about.
It is.
We're gonna have to see which one of these plays. Like, in my opinion, it's not that unlikely that both of these plays like pay off in a way, in the sense that gravity was up, Varia could be down here, but if you get Varia down here and then you're also like end up going lower Norfair, you know, searching for the gravity suits that's not there, that's gonna make Slurs play a little bit better, depending on, you know, where the Varia is and how quickly either runner gets to it. And, you know, like you said, whether or not Slurs does get it at all.
For sure. Like what I want to see Audra find is like the Varia suit, like at Wave or something. Just something to put them right back into the mix. However, if Sloters then decides to do any Bubble Mountain checks, it'd be right on the path. Like they'd be on a collision course with that Varia suit. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what the best play is here. But we are going to see a Norfair reserve check while Sloters does battle with Dragon. Oh my goodness, D-Wet. That item might be orphaned by Sloters. There's a distinct possibility. Varia suit at Norfair reserve.
Yeah, and you know, we were just talking about it. This was like kind of maybe what you wanted. Well, like, you know, if you're not in our case with the all-seeing eye of restream commentary, like you know, like that's what I wanted to see in here, right? You wish you had done that before Speed because you just used up a bunch of resources to Crystal Flash, but like, you know, here you are, this is the item you wanted, you can do the rest of Norfair, presumably. But
presumably.
Yeah,
now what if this is heat shield behind Dragon? Oh, but it's
we got spicy
heat shield. It's an energy tank. And an energy tank at Wave. Oh, we're primed for a Varialist lower Norfair for Sloters, but Audra gonna be having a very, very fast lower Norfair. A blue gate glitch to get out of there too. No wave beam. Impressive.
Yeah, this is a big point here. Yeah, we talked about like if Sloters doesn't get that Varia, that's not good for where she is in the race, just because like, you know, very much capable and probably would pull off the lower Norfair run, but like having Varia is faster always, no matter what. So that's one thing. The other thing is that if it does look like Audra is going to try and do the Thor Norfair play. If they had gone up and just gotten the gravity suit, could have done a pure checks in Meridia, but what's going to probably happen is that if this bootless dive is successful, going to be searching these lower Norfair checks for a gravity that's not there.
Yeah, that could be time consuming.
Yeah. And the other thing about that is that like high jump specifically could also just like send them on a full suitless play. Well, it's less full suitless because you have the pressure valve for a decent chunk of it, but you know, it would be a slower back end of that. And
absolutely brilliant bootless dive there from Audra. Well done. Phenomenal stuff. Now this is
another thing that was, you know, potential.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna cost a lot of time for Sloters. Audra's like a snowball going downhill, D-Web. They're just picking up mass and momentum right now.
Yeah, so they don't know that probably skipping that screw attack is overall a positive thing for them. Here's another map change. I talked about Plasma. Here's Shack Tool. The sand's gone. So you just, you know, you wave to Shack Tool for a second instead of a minute.
So it's not the slowest check possible, and it is an energy tank. See, I grabbed that. But Sloters says, nope, I'm out of here.
It is quite a bit.
Ooh, Mickey Mouse is an E-tank as well. Nice energy refill there for Audra. So that was a pretty costly check there for the Catgirls from Sloters.
Yeah, if she...
I think that was a bit of a desperation play, D. I would think she was looking for the heat shield or Varia.
Yeah, if she doesn't do Plasma, I don't think things are catastrophic yet. Well, they definitely aren't. Like, but yeah, Plasma is where this could get a little dicey.
Yeah, this is all playing into Audra's hands here. mean, Audra's already into the Red Key Hunter shaft. They're about halfway to Ridley right now.
Yeah, and yeah. At this point, honestly, I think you're not rooting for Heat Shield because Heat Shield. I think if Sodas gets Heat Shield, it might be the last major she checks. That is
Right.
my guess.
Right. So if you're an A-Team fan, you want this to not be the Heat Shield.
No, I know. I think you do want it to be the. I think getting Heat Shield is bad for Sodas.
Oh my goodness. The booster at Plasma?
I can't say that. Yeah, I can't say that for sure, but yeah, Speed was definitely not a bad pickup, and Speed's only bad if she goes to Waterway, but I really don't see that.
That would be an incredible off the beaten path check. I'm not sure if Sloters would do that. So it's a faster escape, but that's about it because we're 35 minutes into this seed and both runners are effectively in go mode.
But yeah, Audra would still need something for the end of Meridia, but pretty likely to find the gravity suit. Another thing, like I said, I think Heat Shield makes Sloters not find Varia. I think High Jump might make Audra not find gravity. It's different because with Pressure Valve, like you're not suitless into Mama Turtle, so that could be different, but it would be very tempting to just, especially like I said, like both of these runners did a full wreck ship and didn't get what they needed out of it. So, that could be weighing on both of their minds as far as these plays that they're making.
No question about it, D-Web. This just got, like, it was an interesting race to begin with, but this is really, really interesting now. I mean, Otter's just got to go to Meridia and do battle with Dragon, but if they don't get that gravity suit, will that allow Sloters to basically catch up by completing Lord Norfair? It's hard to say.
Yeah, and it's hard to say, like you said, I mean, yeah, with, the wreck ship full clear that didn't really amount to anything, and then, like you said, Hockey, like the ideal, optimal routing once you go down into Norfair is to stay down there until it's done, which is not what Sloters did. But on one hand, she was a world with the gravity. On the other hand, she checked Tool and Plasma and didn't get what she wanted. So we're gonna see how much of Bubble Mountain she does or doesn't want to do. And one of my two possibilities came true. There's the high jump boots behind Ridley.
Yep. Good old HJB. A good farm up there for power bombs. Maybe Sloters is thinking no checks. Maybe just go for it. Nope, heading up to the top of Bubble Mountain here, so we'll see what she checks.
Yeah, and yeah, if she gets Varia, it's really close. If she doesn't, it's also maybe still really close. And then it depends on the gravity. But yeah,
it depends on a couple different things right now.
For the third time this race, like doing things at a later time on Sloters is giving her like a faster ability to do this, because you just saw like ran through speed the whole way at the speed of light versus
right
not nearly as fast. Plus the added damage reduction for gravity suit, which if she ends up getting this Varia over to the left, it'll be not necessarily the worst thing, but
chat pointing out
too, still remain to be seen.
Chat pointing out too, D-Web, that like Sloters knows that one of these three items, or Croc or Waterway, has Varia. So it's like, then why not check the reserve first if that's the case? Why check speed first? For the farm? Maybe. Okay, well, Sloters is gonna get Varia.
That's good.
That's good for the Catgirls. That's bad for Audra, but I really like Audra's chances in this race if they get the gravity suit.
Chat thinks Sloters is pretty behind. I am not as good as people in chat who are saying that, so I very much do not doubt them. What I doubt is this gravity pickup. Unfortunately, I have my doubts. I would I wouldn't mind being proven wrong.
Well, from the way I look at it, D-Web, like, you got to think, where are they going to finish their fourth G4 boss? Like, Otters is going to be at Dragon. That's a really easy route back to Criteria. back to the surface, back to G4 room. For Sloters, it being Ridley, that's a long slog all the way back to Bubble Mountain, all the way up the elevator to Meridia, up to Red Tower. You see where I'm going with this? Like, there's a lot more ground for Sloters to cover, even if Otter gets slowed down in East Meridia.
You're very much right. And the other thing about, I was talking about, high jump pushing Audra down to lower Norfair and maybe doing some of the checks for gravity. Skip screw attack, found high jump at Ridley, and also skipped fire fleas. So, like, I'm gonna say didn't even waste any time, just spent time.
Just it says, you know what, I'm in go mode and I can beat the game with this loadout.
And yeah, it's that thing I just said about skipping fire fleas is also what has me thinking like this Mama Turtle check is no better than 50-50 in my eyes. It's not impossible to check or not check. And and we're getting the check.
This is it. This has been a spellbinding race, D-Web, and it's all going to come down to this.
Yep, that is a gravity suit completely in go mode. 3 charges, ice beam and plasma. As you can see, 400 damage. Actually, 400 damage means they both have 4 charge beams. But yeah, like never gonna find that speed at plasma, but even
don't need it.
Yeah, at the point where Audra would be getting it, would not save any time. And we're also gonna see this this Botswoon skip, which I don't recall. I think Sloters fought Botswoon.
Yeah, Sloters definitely fought Botswoon.
Yeah, so kind of like you can see in the boss randomizers, which are in the other 2 suit settings. You can just skip Botswoon and go through Cat Alley. In this randomizer, it just doesn't require facing Dragon elsewhere. The doors are just open, and yeah, a pretty good loadout for it. With high jump and space jump. The other consideration is the current ammo count, which is 919.
Yeah. So I mean, you could have a faster Metal Pirates here for Sloters, but Chad pointing out though that this trip around Botswoon is not necessarily faster if you have microwave potential. This is amazing because like Otter has basically god routed the back half of this seed because they were 2 minutes down at the Spazer check before both runners went to Upper Norfair. And it's now like, according to chat, like minutes ahead.
Yeah. Again, the people who in chat are talking are smarter than me at all of this stuff.
Smarter than me too.
I'm very happy that they're here and telling us all of these things because, like, in my mind, it's still hard to tell. But they think, put your brain on forwards, DJ, and figure it out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was happy to see Sloters get that gravity suit at Mama Turtle, but having to re-dip into Norfair, like I said, it's tough.
Yeah. And also, Shack Tool and Plasma.
Right, those were even though both of them, well, at least the Shack Tool check, yeah, you got speed, but you're so late into the seat already, and still checking the back of Ridley here too. This is so surprising.
And the one item that was ever gonna pay out at that point, right? Like.
Yeah.
Tell me what item you want here, and it's high jump, and she got it. So
I mean, maybe it's just to get like a normal jump arc with speed booster.
Yeah, it's comfy and it's beautiful to have. But yeah, I agree. A bit surprising that it was checked at all, but good for her. I'm one of those people who's of the opinion that a lot of times runners do a little too much skipping once they're already in go mode. This is one of those situations where I think it was. Either play was defensible, and maybe skipping was more defensible. But I said, they're better than us at the game. They make their decisions based on things that they've decided.
Literally, everybody is better than me at Randomizer. I've only completed a single seed in my lifetime.
You're one ahead of me, Hockey.
And definitely going to come back to haunt the Catgirls is that full Meridia clear.
So yeah, both runners, as have 4 Golden 4 bosses down. Sloters is pretty close to as far down the map as you can be, and Audra is very much middle top right now. Obviously, you got to do a little bit of down in Meridia before you can come back up, but we're gonna see. Once they hit that G4 door, probably maybe a little like the 2 minute lead has swung to like all 4 minutes to being 2 in the other direction, but yeah, Speed Booster is not gonna save all of that time just in the escape.
No, for sure, for sure. Yeah, this is just incredible routing from Audra right into Mount Everest, up into the fishbowl, or I should say the Ponk Seffi fish room, and just spits you right out at the top of Red Tower, ready to go to G4.
Okay, 2 minutes feels like it was too much. That's my initial thought, but we're gonna see.
We'll use G4 door times, right, D-Web?
It's gonna be the easiest to remember. Also, well, actually, I'll just stuck on that elevator at like exactly 45 minutes, so that will also be pretty easy. But yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Derp says 90 seconds. That felt better to me than my 2 minutes.
Right on. I trust Derp with most things, Super Metroid. But not all Derp.
Okay, so we are stepping onto the ship for the refill with the... And yeah, this is the other thing, like, they have the same beam damage, 400. Audra has quite a bit more ammo, and I do expect both of them to refill all of it. One of those quirks about this randomizer, like, 400 is, like, not a beam damage possibility in the vanilla game,
Yeah.
so, like, obviously, it's a little bit stronger than New Route Beam. It's a little bit weaker than what normal charged plasma would be. So yeah, your ammo's still pretty valuable here. Okay. Oh wow, 109.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
That is wild. But Slaughter's in that speed booster. I don't think they can make up this deficit. I think Audra's got this one.
Yeah. If they were like done with the ship refill when Audra hit this elevator, I would be like, wow, it's gonna come down to the wire. But and Slaughter skips the refill.
Impressive.
Also, that's gonna be another thing that saves time from the 109 that she was down, but it's that's why she loves spring ball. That's why everyone loves spring
that
ball.
parlor. Even the landing site entry was perfect. That parlor is just sick.
So yeah, I was gonna save time at the beginning as far as getting here faster, but probably gonna lose time in the long run as far as the ammo, especially because like Soda's not having as much also means the refill is faster because not going up as high. I don't know how the current health situation was for both of them relative, but like, yeah, I mean, can't even like a lot of times what you would want to do in Rando is just kind of run through these things hundo style and like blast through everything and not really care about the drops. Soda does not have that privilege right now. 25 and 3. I do not think we'll put you through Mother Brain 1 plus doors. So
I don't think so either.
Needs these drops, and yeah, as you see, missling.
Ooh,
5. That's beautiful.
A 5 super in the first Metroid room. That's exactly what Slaughter's wanted. Yeah, Slaughter's is just playing like a woman possessed right now.
Yes. Alrighty, we have a baby skip attempt here. Oh! No speed, no wave, but still possible. Yeah, this is
so
pretty
hard.
Good rhythm so far.
Feel the rhythm, D-Web. Unbelievable.
And yeah, as you can see, Slaughter's hot on the trail.
That was so dope. Way to go, Audra. Also, like to give a special shout out to our tracker today, Scoopula, doing a fantastic job with the dash specific tracker and all. But ice zap skip here from Audra. Come on, Slaughters!
Yeah, again, the rhythm looks good. And it's good.
Brilliant.
It is good. I was very
Absolutely
worried. I
brilliant.
called that too soon, but I did not. So yeah, Motherbrain won down 49-04. Someone in chat is gonna say as soon as I speak the words how much time Speed Booster saves in the escape. I do not think it is enough, but I do. I think this could be. I think this is going to be under 15 seconds, maybe, as far as the finish difference.
Oh, now
We're gonna have
look
to
at
see how
this.
much the ammo changes. Yeah, this was
First-
something.
Sorry, D-Web, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you may have seen Audra menued at the elevator to turn off screw attack. If you have screw attack on, you can't do the normal Zeb skip. You have to do the down back Zeb skip or speed Zeb skip, which Audra doesn't have speed, Sloters does. So that's why you saw that speed Zeb skip. It's easier and probably a little bit faster than doing the skip with the screw attack on. So yeah,
for sure.
Audra had a lot more ammo coming in here, so that's going to be something where this fight is faster for them versus what Sloters is going to do. And it doesn't look like we're going to see a stand-up attempt.
That is wild. This race has had a little bit of everything, D-Web.
A little bit of everything and a lot of very good gameplay from, as we said at the beginning, two of the best runners in the scene, without a doubt.
No question about it.
Yeah. You may have heard a bit of surprise in my voice. Stand-up, one of those things that, you see it in vanilla runs that have full beam. Even full beam in this randomizer is only 500, and we don't even have that. We have 400, so, you're less than half of the damage of what would be full beam in a vanilla game. So, in that game, you can get it down to like 1 to 3 shots on Motherbrain 3. So with this one, you're gonna still be like at least 20 something away. Yeah,
definitely an interesting choice by both runners to go for this stand-up. Or actually, will Sloters go for this stand-up? Yes, she will. Oh my goodness.
Alrighty, so baby is dead. And here's that hyper beam. That's on the other side. We're about to begin the stand-up phase. Like we said, this has come down to the wire for sure.
It really has. What an incredible race. It was the move, D-Web. It was the staying in Lower Norfair. It's the most southern, the farthest south on the whole map. It takes so much time to get to Ridley and so much time to crawl out.
Yep, so we're into this escape. It's a race toward the ship. The game gives you 3 minutes. There's been some movement on the Zebus escape world record. Shoutouts to a Catgirl, Aero Cutie, who stole that record for a small time, and then Zinni being Zinni very much took it back with authority. It's like 2:21 on the timer is like the world record now. It's something insane. Like
that is wild.
If you hear the name Zinni, probably insanely fast Super Metroid movement is one of the first things that comes to your mind. So
Yeah, no question. Yeah, the Zenny train cannot be stopped.
So yeah, into climb as Sloters is putting Motherbrain 3 down. My theories about how close this were a bit off. But yeah, it's still, it's gonna be one of the closer finishes we have seen thus far. That is
agreed. Yeah.
And
look at that
nice.
blue bomber from Sloters. She's absolutely crazy, but it's not gonna be enough. D-Web.
Yeah, that was one of those reasons to not turn off screw attack for Sloters. With spring ball and speed and high jump, and then also screw attack to make it fast enough, you get that blue bomber. And there's our finish. Audra's on the ship, finishing in first place. Official race time 53 minutes 40 seconds.
GG's to Audra and the A team, moving to 2-1 against the Catgirls.
Yes, this was very much a pivotal matchup. If you watch sports and you talk about, they say in these, 7-game playoff series for basketball and hockey, it's like the game 3 winner when it's tied 1-1 wins X amount, and then the game 5 winner when it's tied 2-2 wins X amount. So the short version of that is that being ahead is better than being behind. Newsflash to all of the people in chat. And yeah, Slaughter's finishes 54-21 seconds. That's it's a 41-second difference. That's in a randomizer race. That's about as close as it gets.
That is a either a plasma or a Shack Tool check. We are joined by the winner representing the A team, Audraxis. GG's. We're also joined by the runner-up representing the Catgirls, Sloaters 27. GG's.
GG.
GG.
So quite a spellbinding race. Kind of mirrored each other, maybe did some things a little bit out of order at the beginning, but pretty much on the same path up until the pressure valve. That is where the divergence occurred, and that was the difference maker.
I had a feeling.
So, Sloaters, what was going through your mind when you found that pressure valve?
Well, I had enough health to hell run, but it wasn't great. I don't think I had enough PBs to crystal flash, but at that point I was feeling either they did the same thing I did and we're both like feeling very bad about this right now, or they did all this Norfair stuff and the suits are just like down here. So I was kind of just chasing the pressure valve at that point. And then finding gravity, I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep chasing this further because I feel like I need to at this point. So that's kind of what was going through my head. It just felt more convenient to do that. And like, I might have had to if they also didn't full clear wreck ship like I did.
Surprise! They did.
Yeah.
What's funny is that I had the opposite idea. That like, if he went down, you found that pressure valve, you might not have had enough health to hell run, and I felt bad about doing wreck ship, so I had to do something different, and something that, in my eyes, is like more likely to make the space jump relevant.
For sure. But it was quite a stunning comeback, Audra. D-Web and I kind of were keeping time, during the race at the Spazer item check, plus 2 minutes to then finish 41 seconds ahead. Absolutely incredible.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it was funny. There were several points throughout the seed where like YouTube very much ended up doing the same things, but like you did them in slightly different order. So like Slaughter's did meme route, so like had screw attack for Gauntlet, which was a little bit faster. Did wreck ship E-Tank first out of the wreck ship full clear, which I think is probably a smidge faster.
Mm-hmm.
And then X-ray after space jump, which was also faster than the grapple beam. So that was kind of what it added up at that point. And then from there it was pretty much the single dip Norfair versus the full Meridia clear, including some unfortunate Shack Tool and Plasma checks, which did net a speed booster, but as we saw, not quite enough.
Okay, so I was feeling bad, but I was not feeling bad for the reason I should have been, apparently. I got destroyed in micro. I wasn't quite expecting that.
Overall, just a really spellbinding race, and now the Catgirls on the brink of elimination, but there will be at least a game 4. Sloaters, what's your team's strategy?
We've kind of been flying by the seat of our pants. So I'm not really sure, but I think we'll figure it out. my teammates have done very well this season, so I'm pretty confident that we can have a good run this season.
Right on, Sloters. Well, Audra, I know you and the A team will meet any challenge ahead of you, and we definitely look forward to seeing both your teams in action again, like we said, at least in Game 4.
I think my relationship with my team is like mutually I can fix them.
Same.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, Sloters, Otter, any closing remarks?
No.
Yeah, tough matchup. GG.
Yeah, GG. I feel bad about what happened, but I feel good that it was still like pretty close at the end of it. I'm glad it just wasn't like a complete blowout. So yeah, GG's as
Yeah, me
always.
too.
I always like getting to race you. They're usually pretty fun. So
Yeah, it's I feel like it always comes down to the little things with this, and I was fully expecting to lose by 40 seconds once I checked after MB3 and I saw you still weren't done. I was honestly thinking that like I was thinking of cutting the corner of Rexha B tank, and I was thinking, like if I lose now, the reason is going to be because I decided not to cut that corner. But then you had check plasma apparently.
yeah, it is what it is. Obviously, you know, I'm sure we both took a lot of extra checks that we didn't really like taking, but again, I'm just glad it was close. It never feels good having like a blowout. As long as I can put up a good race at least, then I'm okay with it.
It's hard to. I feel like this mode kind of makes it hard to not be a blowout sometimes because you can just completely guess wrong. So it's like I was gonna try not to feel too bad if that's what happened as well.
Yeah, it's really tough when you get like a gravity or pressure valve early, because then it's like there's just so many viable and like reasonable choices that you have on like where you can go next, and like you might get in go mode too, but it might not necessarily be like a fast go mode if you just have like, you know, heat shield and a bunch of energy tanks or whatever. But
yeah, I was so happy to see that pressure valve because I was like, okay, I'm probably behind, and now there's a chance that she does something different.
yeah.
Yeah, GG's. Thanks for restream crew as always.
Yeah, GG. Thanks, Aki and D-Web. Appreciate the commentary. And Scoopula for the tracking, of course.
It's always our pleasure, Sloters and Audra. D-Web, what do we got on the docket, and why don't you take us on out of here?
Alrighty. First things is, you know, echoing the runners, I want to thank my co-commentator Hockey. Always a pleasure to share the mic with a legend in the flesh. Later on tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have Game 4 of I Only Know How to Super Jump versus the Chicago Bullies. The Bullies are up 2-1. That is Glove versus Simo. That'll be on Speed Gaming 2, brought to you by myself and Kip. And then on Wednesday, that's the next scheduled race at 8 p.m. Eastern again. Game 4 of World Cup Breast for Rupees versus Southern Route. That'll be a rematch of Bressingham versus Kip. And the only other race currently on the schedule is Game 5 of that series, if necessary, would be the next day at 2 p.m. Eastern. So we still have, well, no series is finished yet. 3 of them are 2-1, and the other one is 2-0. We had some unfortunate things that caused the race to be delayed, but still lots of exciting randomizer action for you in the coming days and weeks. And to all of our fans, thanks to you, as always, for joining us here in chat. All of the SG volunteers who do so much for us in our community, we thank you, and we will see you next mission.